Welcome back to another episode of the In Between Overs podcast, where your host of the day's play. I'm Taran.
And I'm Ishaan.
Okay, so third T20I, India comes up with the dub. Some unexpected heroes in this game, unexpected selections to begin with. Lots to talk about the game. Australia had a good start. Brilliant innings by Tim David and Marcus Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis seems like he's added some more shots to his game. He looked really good. I haven't seen him bat like that in a long time. Some wickets from Arshdeep Singh, who continues to impress every time he's in the team. I don't know how you leave this guy out. And then India put up a good start, looked a little shaky, and then unexpected heroes in Washington, Sundar, and Jitesh Sharma, who I didn't even expect to play this game. Lots to unpack in this game. But before we do that, we have to give a special mention and shout out to Team India women's team lifting up their first World Cup, 50 over World Cup ever. It felt like they just had their 1983 moment.
Yes. No, huge moment under the leadership of Harmanpreet Kaur. Mitali Raj tried for so many years, and India was, I think, twice close on two different occasions reaching the finals. But now, they've definitely busted the door open. Big win, emphatic win. I think it was 52 runs. It looked like, it did look like that South Africa had their opportunities in the match, but India very relentless with the home crowd support as well, which were very loud and very, creating huge noise. But yeah, congrats to Team India, women's team, and it's again huge lift up for women's sports in general.
It ended up being third time's the charm for the Indian team. And I remember the 2017 loss. It was against England in England. And I remember they came so close, and it was a heartbreaker of a final. I think they needed a few runs and they lost that last wicket. And obviously the rest is history from there. And so for a lot of those players that played, not a lot, but many of the players that were there then are there now. So it was nice to see that continuity and them getting over that hump. I did follow this World Cup a lot more than I have in the past, which is a small testament to the increase and the popularity in the women's game. I feel. I think the quality in the game has improved. We're watching quality bowling, quality batting. The fielding is still something that needs to improve in the women's game. I saw a lot of drop catches, but it was very impressive. Like, I genuinely enjoyed watching some of the games and following the Team India's run. It did feel they lost a bit of momentum when they lost 3 games. They did lose 3 games in a row in the round robin, where people had question marks in the team selections. You had big players being dropped, like Jemimah Rodrigues being dropped. And it felt like they weren't even going to make the final 4, and somehow they managed to make it. And then that big game against Australia, who has been their arch nemesis. Australia just happens to be any team's arch nemesis, whether it's men's, women's, under 19. It doesn't matter. Australia just seems to be so good at this game. And India were able to overcome that in that big semi-final where they were chasing 340. And honestly, I remember we were messaging each other, and I didn't think Australia were going to lose that game because, again, Australia played so dominantly the entire tournament that they were winning from positions of losing games. They were winning.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no chance in my mind that they were going to lose that game. But Jemimah Rodrigues played the innings of a lifetime, whether it's men or women's. Like, it was a fantastic innings. And again, talking about the quality of the performance, it wasn't just any innings. Her shot selection was all around the ground. There were reverse sweeps, there were scoops, there were proper cover drives. I think a couple sixes in that innings too, and it's nice to see the power game improving in the women's game too. But yeah, I felt that semi-final, them beating Australia, when that happened, I was like, okay, talk about momentum, right? We talk about momentum all the time. We felt the momentum shifted completely, and now you felt they had the belief that they can beat anyone. And the fact that they were going to face South Africa, which is not Australia, and they beat Australia, and you felt that they could do it and they would do it, and they ended up doing it. So congrats to them.
No, and I completely agree. Australia was definitely that the monkey on the back, always getting the better end of India but whether it was the women's side or the men's side, Australia has always known how to win. So getting over Australia was a huge, huge, I think, mental win for India going into the final. And yeah, to your point as well, it's great to see cricket expanding so well across both genders, especially what I think the BCCI has done recently as well. I believe even in a central contract system now, whatever money that the players make, the women make as well. So they've made it on par, which I think is a great, great step towards that equality. And then also, we just look at how much investment is in the women's IPL. The game has grown year after year. I know it just started, I would say, a few years back, but look at how it has grown. The players it attracts, the brands that it attracts, as well as the money that the players are earning, whether they're domestic players or international players. It is money going to cricketers and giving them one a secure future for sure, but also giving them world class training and facilities that the men's players also get.
Yeah, it's really awesome to see that because I've always felt in India with sports, talking about women, I felt that women generally are better at the individual sports in India, not so much the team sports. And so now with the infrastructure, with like you said, the WPL, is it the WPL or WIPL? I
I
guess
think it's
it's
WIPL.
is it the WIPL? Okay. So with the growth in the game in India, and now with this win, and that's why I called it the 1983 moment. When when the men's team won the 1983 World Cup, what many people say and what I also believe is what made cricket so much more popular in India over the past, what is it, 20, 40 plus years since that happened, right? And I feel the same thing is going to happen with in the women's game now, where girls watching this women's team lift this cup are going to now dream about doing it themselves. And that's how you get kids involved with a sport or a game.
And yeah, that's exciting, right? You want to see them, invest in grassroots cricket. You want to see that grow, across both genders, not only in India but in other countries as well. So even Indians in the diaspora, who they're looking at this game as well, and obviously the tournament in general and getting inspiration. So no, I agree. It's great for the sport, and yeah, India winning, I think, definitely will now open up a lot more doors for a lot more people. So great to see.
Awesome. All right, so let's shift our talk back to the men's game. So India took on Australia in the third T20I. They needed to win this one because remember the first one was washed out, so they needed to win this one with 2 games left after this, and they ended up pulling it off in a fashion that I didn't expect. At least the players who helped them get there. I want to start there. Washington Sundar and Jitesh Sharma, who I didn't even consider them in the lineup, they come in and win the game.
Yeah, first of all, controversial in my eyes for the exclusion of Sanju Samson. You have someone who was, not too long ago playing very well, opening the innings for Team India, then having to step down for Shuman Gill. Obviously now not playing in his best position, but not having the best innings or time in that now given position is now dropped. It's unfortunate, but it's also some highlights now on Shuman Gill's performance because Sanju Samson, I don't know. I think arguably was doing a little bit better than what Shuman Gill's currently doing, opening the slot. So it's a little controversial. And so, with again, nothing being said on Jitesh Sharma. I just think that the exclusion of Sanju Samson is a little bit disheartening. Yeah, Washington Sundar as well. Great player, but I don't know what they're doing at Washi. If you have him in your 11, why are you not bowling him? Why are you letting Abhishek Sharma bowl a few overs or Shivam Dube? A lot of questions in my eyes for these changes. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was just a very surprising game because of the selections. It's like I don't know what India is trying, but I guess they are trying to figure out their lineup because it feels like outside of Asia, they're not sure what that lineup, what that combination needs to be. And I think they're just trying different lineups and seeing what could happen with it. I wouldn't be surprised if Washi is playing as a batting all rounder here because he came in at 6. I would have thought Jitesh Sharma comes in there, but I feel the management. is looking at Jitesh as a pure finisher, right?
Mhm.
So maybe that's why Washi was ahead. I- and I agree. He should have gotten the ball, but maybe they decided Abhishek was a better option that moment. I don't know where that comes from because Washi actually did really well in the one dayers. And by the way, he has now turned into an all format player for India right after Harshit Rana and Shubman Gill. And I think well deserved. He has improved considerably in all formats in the last couple of years. His power game is so beautiful to watch because the shots that he played today was believable to me. I haven't seen him play like that because he I think at least three of his sixes were on short balls, bouncers.
Yes.
And he cleanly hit it, sweetly timed. It wasn't like he like it, and he also hit it in front of square, which or square leg, not behind him. When a batsman hits it behind you, it's generally like they were either late on the ball. Sometimes they do it on purpose. But his eye for the short ball has improved so much. You even saw it in England in that I remember that it was the fifth test match where he came out to bat and to get quick runs for India and he turned into T20 mode and he was just taking on the boulders like it was nothing. That's what we saw here. It was an amazing innings.
I know. And what it really encourages me with Washington Sundar, and I think is what the management sees in him as well, is his performances outside of Asia. He is that go-to player in England. He is now that go-to player in Australia as well. Ever since that one series where India come back at the Gabba, even that series as well, he was a big proponent for Team India's win. So yeah, I think he's that player for now outside of Asia. But when it comes to his innings specifically today, I see what you mean as, him coming in as a batting all rounder, but I think in any scenario would trust him bowling at least like one over instead of Abhishek Sharma. Like, I don't get why Abhishek Sharma is bowling one over, is going over 13 runs and over. Sure, it includes Shivam Dube, but you're bowling in Australia against Australian batters. This is not in Asia against Bangladesh or Pakistan, with respect. So I don't know. Washington Sundar knows how to bowl. He's bowled in Australia before. I'm not sure if Shivam Dube or Abhishek Sharma have even bowled in Australia. So I don't know. Just interesting. You're right. This game was very interesting in this selection.
Yeah, I feel the plan was for Shivam Dube to pull out his four, but because he got carded around in one of his overs, and I think that's why he went to Abhishek. But again, you would think you would just go to Washi. He's your sixth bowling option, right? But I don't know. It's very interesting. Washi does add another layer of balance because if you look at his squad, again, surprising that he came in at six because I mentioned Jitesh Sharma, but Shivam Dube didn't even bat, right? So it's interesting. So now what this is telling me is Jitesh Sharma and Shivam Dube are being looked at as finishers. And so they'll push them right to the bottom to come out to bat to finish games, which is fine. I think you need one or two finishers in the team. And this now lengthens India's batting in a way because if you think about Hardik Pandya coming back into this team, he's probably coming back in place of Shivam Dube, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I think so.
I think he has to, and Hardik can play that finisher's role, and he has been at 6 or 7 or 8, right? So I like his performance because it gives India another option. But again, I feel again you still need three out and out fast bowlers in Australia. And Nitish Kumar Reddy is in that team. Maybe try him out again instead of Shivam Dube. I feel he's a better bowler than Shivam Dube, but India rates Shivam Dube's batting higher than Nitish Kumar Reddy.
And I agree with that. I do agree with that. His batting is, I think, is I rated a little bit higher than NKR right now. But to your point, yep, I agree with the seamers. You need three. Um, and we look but let's talk about one of them very quickly. Arshdeep Singh
Yeah.
back in the lineup, man of the match performance as well. We've been talking about it on this podcast. Gets three key wickets. Again, I think this, and I agree with this. I think I heard this. I think Ashwin had said this recently this week, and I agree with it. If you're playing a T20 game, the second person in your list under fast bowlers is Arshdeep Singh. And I agree with that for Team India. Under Bumrah, if you're having another pace bowler, you have to include Arshdeep Singh, and he showed that in today.
Arshdeep Singh, you can't drop him anymore. You just can't drop him. He's left arm. He's so consistent. He's really good at taking wickets consistently. And I don't understand why he doesn't play every game. I really don't understand that. Maybe they want to try again other bowlers, Harshad Rana. But Harshad Rana, I believe, should be considered a third or fourth option. He's still a project. He's still a project. I understand the logic behind having him in the team. Maybe you play him games here and there, but not at the expense of Arshdeep Singh. I feel Jasprit Bumrah and Arshdeep Singh are locks. Whenever they're in the team, there's no second guessing or change of the lineup. Those two are in your 11. They're the first two names in your 11. I completely agree with that.
But again, very good performance from him. And now, on the topic of spinners, side note, I think we just got released as well today. Kuldeep Yadav is now flying back for the Test series, so he's now out of the lineup. India still included Varun Chakravarti and Axar Patel, and they also had Washington Sundar who could bowl spinning as well. What were your thoughts on that for this lineup?
Yeah, I like it. I like that they released Kuldeep Yadav because I don't know if he's. Let me say this way. I think he is still effective in any conditions, but I think it's the right thing with the South Africa series coming up. It shows that they're taking that seriously, and I really hope that they are because South Africa looks like a team and they can do what New Zealand did to India. They have been in the subcontinent now for a couple months because they were in Pakistan. They literally drew the series in Pakistan. The second test was amazing. They did amazing. They have players that can play against spin. And I think it's right to give Kuldeep Yadav some practice with the red ball because he's going to be the key in that test series to me. He's going to be the X factor. If South Africa are able to play Kuldeep Yadav, India are in trouble. And so I like that they released him because I think they have enough coverage for these T20Is. Varun Chakravarti playing instead of Kuldeep as your main spinner is amazing. I think they're equally good in the T20 game, but Kuldeep is your front line spinner in Asian conditions in tests, and I agree with him being released.
Okay, quick question here. Going back to T20s now, has management seen enough of Kuldeep Yadav to make a decision on his inclusion for the T20 World Cup in February, March in India?
The World Cup is in India, right? There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be in the team. I think it's going to be as far as right now. I feel that it's going to be Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Varun Chakravarti, and Washington Sundar as your four spinners.
Fair.
And I
Yeah, my
feel
thoughts
they're going to
exactly.
go
Yeah.
with at least four spinners. Yeah.
Okay, my thoughts exactly. Yeah. So they've seen enough of him. They don't need to, he doesn't need to prove anything anymore. So I agree. But no, yeah, interesting selection, definitely, and how that influenced the first innings. And Australia, with a decent total, definitely runs on the board, as they would say. What were your thoughts on India's approach with the bat into the second innings?
Yeah. Before we get into India's batting, with Australia's performance with the bat, Tim David is probably top five right now, 20 as batters in terms of current form. He's been batting lights out in the last year, 2 years, ever since he got elevated up the order. He's been usually Australia's finisher at 6 or 7, but now he's getting more time in the middle at 4 and 5, and he's been smacking the ball so cleanly, and his power is insane. It reminds me of Andrew Simons, R.I.P. But the way he bats, the power and the presence at the crease, like the amount of space that he takes, like he's a big unit. And it just gives me Andrew Simons because he's a right-hander, but Matthew Hayden as well. If you remember Matthew Hayden, like
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So
With the mongoose bat, right?
yeah, Mongoose back. Yes. Well, I thought that was a phenomenal performance by Tim David and Marcus Stoinis as well. He looks to be Marcus Stoinis 2.0, and I've seen him
Yes.
play in the leagues lately in the US, and he played in Canada, I believe. He's played in other leagues. He's been a T20 globetrotter, if you will. But he's really upped his game with batting, and yeah, it's good to see him score some runs.
Yes, yes. No, no. I think yeah, those two were the standout innings there. And to your point, yeah, again, they're standout performers in like this year's IPL as well. So good to see that they're brought their form in. And yeah, definitely now we know the IPL teams are looking at them again as well.
Yeah, so going to India's batting with the chase, we talked about how they ended it. The start felt a little shaky to me. Shubman Gill, when he's scoring boundaries, when he's putting bat on ball, he looks great, but somehow, some way, he just keeps getting out after getting a start. Again, I'm not looking too much into it. I still feel that he'll come around, and again, it could be the amount of cricket that he's been playing, and now after the series, he's gonna go play the Test series in South Africa, which is the separate conversation because I feel he shouldn't be in the T20I squad at all. I think he should just focus on one days and tests and leave T20Is to someone else, right? And India has enough depth because of the IPL to replace him in the T20 squad. But that's a separate conversation. I'm not too scared of his form right now. I think he'll be fine. All the top four, they all have got good starts. Axar was beaten by the short ball. I feel teams are slacking on that. I think they need to go more short ball at Axar. He doesn't look that comfortable against the short ball. And I don't know why teams don't bowl more of that to him. It looks like Australia are starting to. Let's see if they keep doing that. Yeah, it felt like one of them should have carried on, but they were saved by Washi.
Yeah, no, exactly that. I think the start was okay. It got them enough for us to get it started. Shuman Gill, you're right, little shaky on surfaces that are doing just enough. I do think he's gonna be there for Team India in the World Cup. I think it also makes sense. He's gonna be in India and in Sri Lanka as well. So those conditions somewhat I think suit his playing style a little bit more. But yeah, good to see some classic stroke play from Kumar Yadav, some beautiful, beautiful shots. Tilak Verma as well. He's able to really take in any situation. I did want to see him, as he did before in the Asia Cup, kind of bring it home. But he played really well. But yeah, Washington Sundar, as we talked about, these shots that he did play. I think there was one off of the back foot down. I think just across mid off. I think or mid on. It was beautiful, beautiful shot
Against the spinner, right?
against a
Against the
spinner.
spinner?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
beautiful. That was like a tennis slap forehand.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and it's like you just look at a shot, and if you're not able to recognize it or just it looks interesting, it's a good shot, right? So great to see him play, and yeah, again, I know he didn't bowl, but he definitely, definitely, made up for it in his batting performance. But yeah, it just goes to show that India has that batting depth, and he wasn't in it in the last few games. He's in it now, and if it wasn't for the match winning, the match winning performance from Arshdeep Singh, I think that it could have easily gone to Washington Sundar.
absolutely. I'm excited for the next game, which is going to be played in Carrara. Yeah, that's Carrara. I said it right. I don't even know where that is. I've never heard about that ground ever in my life. I guess they're trying to spread the game in Australia, but it's gonna be a fun game if the weather stays the way it is, nice and warm. I feel that that game can go either way. I think the winner of that game will end up winning the series. So it's a big game once again, and we will be covering it. So stay tuned for that. Until then, that's Stumps.